100 people name. But your Edison name you will not find. What is the reason?
He was a businessman.
Huh?
He was a businessman.
No. But Edison name will not find. Although he has more than 1,000 patents in those days. Tesla has 791, if I recall correctly, right? But question is that there is a conflict of interest between Tesla and Edison. Tesla was Yugoslav. Nowadays broken into pieces. In 1886, at the age of 26 or so, Tesla moved to United States, but joined with Edison first. But there is a conflict of interest. He came out from Tesla, Edison, and joined with George Westinghouse, right? And Edison was in favor of DC, but Tesla was in favor of AC, because two persons parallelly at the same time invented induction synchronous machine, one from Germany, I forgot the name, and Tesla, right? But Edison was not interested, Tesla used, because Tesla used to dream that one day AC will take place, but it took time. But Edison name is nowhere included, because he invented electric chair for capital punishment, right? That's why never included, right? You will not find Edison's name, right? So history of science, if you read, I can tell you a lot of stories about history of science, right? So if you read, in 1950, Nobel Committee thought both will be given Nobel Prize. Tesla says, if Edison is given, I will not take. If Edison says, if Tesla is given, I will not take. Finally, both are not given. You find out Google, it is there. Right? So that's why Tesla was not ordinary human being. When Swami Vivekananda visited United States, consecutive 7 days Swamiji went to Tesla's lab, and Swamiji was thoroughly convinced by Tesla. But we do not find any meeting with Edison, right? But your what you call Tesla was not ordinary human being. Whatever little bit I read about him, his thing was different. His dream was to eliminate the environment, right? That was Tesla. Tesla was different. Anyway, so if you read history of science, you will know many things, many interesting things. The way Maxwell, I say, why Maxwell? Later I will tell you. Faraday was not literate. Faraday was illiterate person, right? But his invention, whatever he made, this one is required. This one is required, right? Anyway, so aggregation platform for distributed energy storage and multiple customer loads similar to microgrid will be absolutely necessary if our energy infrastructure follows in the footsteps of telecom and the evolution of today's internet. Right, go up. Go up. Stop. So no doubt, the existing transmission grid will still provide the majority of power supply to the industrialized world, right? But renewable distributed energy generation, we call RDEGs, will also play a larger role in providing energy supply, reliability, security, and emergency care services. So, given consumer pushback on smart meters, the very underpinning of the utility-dominated smart grid, the microgrid represents an alternative business model for boosting the quality of grid services, particularly for end users. Go up. Go up. This is not required actually. Go up. Down. Little bit down. Hold on. Hold. The microgrid is one choice to aggregate, manage, and deploy these things. Another aggregation option that is actually dependent on smart grid operator is the concept of virtual power plant. So I am now in the verge of retirement. So I have a little bit of ambition before retirement. If we can publish, I can publish with my student one paper on virtual power plant, right? So some part he did here only before going to UK for PDF, right? And their laboratory also he extended. Then somehow we published one paper in IIEST on this thing, industrial application on virtual power plant, right? So that was a very tough work because you have to be very strong in coding because a lot of softwares are there. You have to be very strong in coding. Nowadays what you are doing, whatever I get the feedback, the input you are giving, output you are getting, in between you are using some software package, right? But you do not know what is happening. This is one thing. And many are trying to get it through ChatGPT, right? If things are not available, you will not get in ChatGPT, right? Otherwise, even some numerical problems they are putting in ChatGPT and getting the solution. But students told me, many students, sir, answers are not coming because ChatGPT is unable to solve it. Right? This is also true. This is also true because my students have told me, I mean, BTech students have told me that ChatGPT doesn't give solution of all the numericals. Right? So this is one thing. But nowadays papers are being generated using ChatGPT. Right? And same paragraph they are taking from some paper, say, and putting in the ChatGPT, change the meaning same, change the English sentences, and taking out another paragraph and putting that. When you submit the paper, they are also checking everything, cross-checking everything, and you will find many papers got retraction because of this copy. But in other way, they are doing it. Right? So one should avoid such kind of things. Nowadays, AI, people are talking, right? So one should avoid that. Right? But very difficult to catch. Even for supervisor also it is too difficult to catch, right? So both of these aggregation platforms are emerging as viable options to boost reliability, shrink capital costs related to teaching generation plan, and tap in demand resources. Basically, demand resources are of two types. One is price based, another is incentive based, right? So that can help mitigate impacts of an increasing reliance upon variable resources such as solar and wind power. Right? These two are main at present. Go up to that. Go up. Now, so microgrids have a long history. In fact, Thomas Edison's first power plant constructed in 1882, the Manhattan Pulse Field Station, was essentially microgrid since a centralized grid had not yet been established. So in those days, there was no term called microgrid, but power system they used to call. But people think today's term, it is nothing but a microgrid, right? By 1886, Goa, Edison firm had installed 58 direct current microgrid, maybe 110 volt, right? Line. So after that, shortly up thereafter, the evolution of the electric services industry evolved to a state-regulated monopoly market, thus removing incentive for microgrid development. But let me tell you, in those days, again I am telling, there was no term called microgrid. But it was nothing but a microgrid. Anyway, in the most common configuration, or what you call an integrated energy system consisting of distributed energy resources. When you call distributed energy resources DER, that means DGs plus batteries, that's why you call DR. When you call DR, it is only DG, right? Operating as a single autonomous grid, either in parallel to or either